Last week I did a video on the earthquakes, and I noticed distinctly that Oklahoma was having more earthquakes than it should have. And today it's been verified. A report has come out now to headlining news that even the USGS is verifying this, that it's not a normal occurrence, it's not a natural occurrence. They basically studied the historical records of earthquake activity, which is basically common sense. When you think of earthquakes, nobody thinks of Oklahoma. I've been growing up for decades in the United States. Oklahoma is known for what? There was a musical named Oklahoma. Oklahoma's fairly flat. Oklahoma's about the plains, Great Plains, large sweeping areas, a huge expanse of agricultural fields. I have not thought of earthquakes once yet until now. Until now, we're coming to terms with the fact that now Oklahoma has become synonymous with earthquakes. So we're scratching our heads saying, WTF, if Oklahoma has become an epicenter for earthquakes, what they call now an earthquake swarm, we have to look at the data and we have to figure out what it's coming from. So this increase has happened since about from 2008 going into 2009, and this past 5 years has shown really it's an exponential rise. Their average was about 3 per year of minor quakes, which is typical for anywhere in the world. You have these continental vibrations going on because the larger earthquakes happen in the fault zones. So minor quakes occur as the vibrations find smaller weak spots in the crust of any continent. So all of a sudden you have every month now earthquakes ranging in the 4 to 5 range, which is a middle range. It's not a minor quake anymore. In fact, Oklahoma just experienced its largest earthquake ever in more than 100 years of monitoring, and this was, I think it was about a 5.6. And this caused damage, destroying about 20 houses. And the average now has come to about 40 or more sizable earthquakes per year. So we're in 2014. They may end up having more than 40 earthquakes this year at the rate that it's going. So now that we're reflecting on the statistics and looking at the trends, people have to look for a cause. And the activism right now is focusing on hydraulic fracturing. And that's a knee-jerk reaction to say, oh, this is because of the fracking. This is the fracking. So it is true, Oklahoma does allow fracking, the hydrofracturing. And this is a process to get the gas, which is related to petroleum, but it's the gas that they collect up, and we cook with it, we power industry with it, and various other industrial uses. But we do not know that this is fracking related for sure, because what it comes from is the release or the disposal of wastewater. It's disposed by injecting it down to get rid of it. so that it goes away. Instead of shipping it and dumping it, on the surface, or dumping it into the ocean, which is already being done with garbage and various different things. But if it's done in Oklahoma, you're inland, and what do? Well, they have the drilling equipment. They just force it under a lot of pressure and put it deep into the crust. Maybe a kilometer or 2 kilometers or more. I'm not sure exactly how far they push this liquid. So it's basically becoming like a saturated mixture of a lot of water in this broken up bedrock. So prior to this, before they fractured the crust, the rock is just stable. It's just more like one piece. But they've broken it up. It's like crumbles now. Instead of like one loaf of bread, it's crumbs. And they just throw some water into it. And it's as if they like, soup. They take their old stale bread and they like soup. Something wrong with these people. I mean, there's nothing wrong with soup. But to do that with what's underneath the houses and the cities and our lands, to create it into soup, this is wrong. So the argument is saying, wait, it's not just from the fracturing, because any other kind of oil drilling will create wastewater that they inject back into the earth, into the earth's crust for disposal. So it's not just the fracturing companies, it's a lot of oil companies. So we're dealing with, pretty much across the board, a big problem that the petroleum industry is causing. I was in the middle of a video. I don't do that many videos, and you're rude. There's a million places you can go, and you've got to learn how to quiet down. Well, I took care of that problem, you see. I addressed it, and some of you always say, oh, he's got this kids. And it's like, yeah, that's my real life. Do I look like Anderson Cooper to you? Thanks, everybody. I look forward to your comments.